We're turning now to our top story, the federal government unveiling its budget today, which includes tens of billions of dollars in new spending, but also thousands of public service job cuts. The plan is to reduce the size of the federal public service by 28,000 jobs by 2029 through cuts, attrition, and early retirements as part of a plan to save billions of dollars. Joining us live in studio right now to discuss this is Sharon DeSousa, the National President of the Public Service Alliance of Canada. Thank you so much for being with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
What is your reaction to what you heard today? Because I know that you're warning Canadians that this could be as high as 70,000 if they were truly interested in bringing the workforce back down to pre-pandemic levels. We've calculated about 28,000. We know that there are a few different numbers out there suggesting more, maybe even a little less. But are you relieved?
No, not at all. In fact, I'm quite irate. The fact that there's so many different numbers out there. And I have to say the budget has to be looked at with a fine-tooth comb. What we know right now is the numbers that are out there. Everyone has a different take. But I have to tell you, every single one of those jobs reflect to public services that are being delivered. And we just saw 10,000 jobs cut last year, and certain departments and agencies had to rehire people. Look at what's happening at Canada Revenue Agency. They're not able to meet their service standards. As far as I'm concerned, these cuts will impact people who rely on the services more than ever. And we polled ourselves, the public, and the public has told us what they want this government to do is make life more affordable for them, not impact them by cuts to public services that they rely on.
Which services are you particularly concerned about?
I'm really concerned about health care. I'm concerned about the benefits people rely on, employment insurance. We're talking about compassionate care benefits, passports. What I'm worried about right now is that they're looking at this from a very corporate cookie cutter approach instead of looking at it from what do people need right now. And you know what? It's jobs. And when you cut that many jobs from the federal public service, you're impacting local economies.
So I understand here in Ottawa, we are particularly sensitive to public service workers. Our friends, our families, our neighbors, our loved ones are heavily employed by the federal government. What do you say to Canadians who suggest this union isn't reading the room on a national level where they do believe that there is fat that needs to be trimmed and they're less concerned about those positions?
Well, it's funny how you look at things, right? Without a doubt, can any organization look at itself and figure out ways for cost savings and, look at it from that perspective? Yes, there are ways of doing that. But I have to tell you, in an economy where the public sector has been hit so hard, what is a good job? It is a job within the federal public service. And right now, if that's what you're cutting, then where's the work coming from? And when we talk about innovation and we talk about bringing in new industries, guess what? You need those federal public sector jobs to help support it. When you're looking to put a patent in and process it, guess what? You need to go to a patent office to have it done. In fact, when you're looking to build a new factory, you need to do an environmental scan. Who's going to do that work? Those are federal public sector jobs that are making those services. So as far as I'm concerned, when you look at the government and what their priorities are, if you don't have that infrastructure in place, then guess what? You're going to fail. And right now, those cuts have already started to fail, and they're failing the public.
From your perspective, is there any optimism in this budget? Are you feeling encouraged by defense spending and the fact that perhaps the capital is a defense hub and that there could be opportunities for those workers to pivot in a different direction?
Well, right now, I have to say the budget document is quite dense. There are some good things in there, but what concerns me is you can't isolate one department. Each department is interconnected. And when we're talking about the safety of Canadians, well, that's great that you're looking at CBSA, you're looking at, national defense. But I have news for you. What about food security? Canada Food Inspection Agency hasn't seen an increase of inspectors in so long. And with the cuts that we're seeing down south to us with the tariffs, as well as the inspection, how are we going to make our food safe? How are we going to do that inspection? And so as far as I'm concerned, what this government fails to see is the way those departments and agencies interconnect.
All right, Sharon DeSousa, National President of the Public Service Alliance of Canada. That's all the time we have, but we appreciate you making time for us today. And if you learn anything more about specifics from the Treasury Board, please let us know.
Definitely.